Hi, horses. What topics are off limit during our talk? Um, I would say no topics are off limit. No topics are off limit. Just don't break TOS. I don't know if TOS restricts what topics you talk about though. Um, if you get on and start like denying the Holocaust or something, I'll probably have to cut you off. But uh, and then if you confess to a crime, like a serious crime or an ongoing crime or plan to commit a crime, I will report you or Twitch will report you. So don't do that. Um, talk if you're going to do a confession about a crime, make sure the statute of limitations is run out or be vague enough that you know that we're not obligated to report it. Hello, everyone. Um, Trying to think if there's anything I need to say before we start. Preface serious crimes with my friend. Yeah, I want you to be able to be honest, but like, um, we don't want you to turn us into your accomplices. People tend to not be confessing anything though. Maybe that'll change this time, but last time they didn't. 10 minutes of a title screen before I show up. Oh, okay. Well, I'll just be sitting. I'll just sit here. You can. Yeah, I'll just chat with the chat for. Let's just start at 5:10 then. Um, appreciate your recent consent talk with Destiny. Had to reevaluate a lot of my past relationships. Uh, I'm glad you appreciated it. Yeah, it's complicated. Didn't turn out to be much of a debate. I think that unless Destiny and I like super strongly disagree on something, we're gonna end up arguing about semantics. And I think once we just started comparing our worldviews, we got into more of like a groove with the conversation, and I'm glad that that was helpful to you. I guess we weren't debating semantics. We're also debating practical applications. But it's I feel like if your views are super adjacent, it can be harder to figure out exactly what we get a subscribe button. It can be harder to figure out exactly what it is you are going to debate or how to figure it out. So that was kind of confusing for me. I would like to get a subscribe button. I'm not an affiliate yet. Um, I think the next time I stream after this, I will be an affiliate. I think I need to do one more, maybe two more. Thank you for saving us from the league stream. I got you. I got your back. Uh, which convo has been most helpful to me? You mean like interpersonally? I think I think talking to Destiny about career advice and like how he manages stuff. Where I'm much more sensitive than he is. I think he's a little more sensitive than he claims to be. Obviously, I say that every time I talk to him, but I'm very sensitive. Um, so I don't. But yeah, hearing him articulate his thought process and how he sort of protects himself. I guess I need to become a little more like him in how I might be unsustainably sensitive to what people say about me or what's happening with like my career right now. So yeah, talking through that was helpful, but it's very very emotional for me. I don't choose who talks to me in this segment. People post in the Discord and in the Ask to Talk channel, yeah, and then Baby's gonna put people on. I should quit talking to him about using him and the power dynamic between the two of us. In case you don't get nonverbal human cues. I think I know what you're saying there. He is signaling pretty hardcore that he is uncomfortable with that conversation. Yes, but he's not explicitly saying no, so that's still consent. I'm uncomfortable with not acknowledging the benefit to me of when I talk to Destiny. I feel like, and I know he says he doesn't care, he doesn't think about it, but it feels like I don't want to ignore the elephant in the room. And I mean, if he wants me to stop, he can just say, "Stop, shut up." Like, that's fine. But I feel like I have to, when I feel like it, I don't know, when I feel like it's coming up for me or him, I feel like I have to say something. What's up with the shirt today? Why? Destiny. Are you quoting Destiny? You're the only person I've seen be able to make Destiny uncomfortable at times. Well, I can make, yeah. I mean, Destiny himself said that I make people uncomfortable. I'm not, it's not like I'm trying to make him uncomfortable. I'm not trying to, I mean, sometimes I try to make people uncomfortable, but generally it just is happening. Mr. Girl, I have a confession. You're gay. Okay, well, maybe we'll get you on to talk about that. Am I a personal trainer by day? I have one online client left from my clientele in Los Angeles from when I lived there. But, no, I have another job. Hey, man, simple question. The question you asked Vosh about the underwear, was it impromptu or did you think about it before? No, it was impromptu. I only said it because it felt like he was saying I was being creepily specific and thoughtful about what I was asking. So my interpretation was that I wanted to ask him a quick hypothetical and just get an answer. Then he resisted a little bit, and then the more I push, and the longer I've spent talking about it, it starts to seem like I just want to talk about this forever. And the more he resists, it starts to seem like he really doesn't want to talk about it. So I thought he was kind of calling me out, and before I could call him, or I wasn't going to, but before I said, "Do you not want to answer this?" And he might have taken that to be a challenge or like me calling him like a pussy. And so then I think in retaliation, he was like, "Oh, but you seem super interested in talking about this." So I was trying to defuse the situation by saying like, "Haha, wouldn't it be funny if I was only talking about this because I'm a creepy weirdo? And if that were the case, wouldn't it then be funny if I asked you the following question?" And then I asked the underwear question. But that was all supposed to be subtext, but I don't know how clearly that came across. Would you consider having a stream with Shaylin as a live guest? I don't. Would I think about it or would I consider it? I don't think so. That doesn't seem like a good idea. Am I allowed around schools? Yeah. I'm allowed around schools. Not on any registry of any kind. Okay. Oh, yeah, he came out with a response video to my response video, but he started out his video by saying he didn't watch my video. Well, I did watch his video, but since he didn't watch mine, or says he didn't, it's hard to have a back and forth. So Vosh, if you see this, again, the door is open. I'm happy to talk to you in good faith. If you feel like I was not in good faith last time, I will, once we agree on what good behavior is, I will be on my best behavior. Yeah, I emailed Dr. K. I haven't gotten a response, but that's what I want. Lauren's Southern stream is delayed. We're still working out exactly how we're going to handle that. But we're in talks. Okay. Baby, I'm ready when you are. Oh, wait, I gotta... yeah, I think I'm ready when you are. Yeah, I'm ready when you are, baby. I'm gonna hide the chat while I'm talking to people. Have you practiced drinking water off stream? I'm pretty good at it. Okay, now I'm hiding the chat. See, if you say shit like that while I'm trying to talk to somebody about their life, then oh, I have to actually get in the confessional. Okay, now I'm actually ready. If you say something like that while I'm talking to people about their life, then I'm going to start laughing. And that's not good. No, I'm not. I'm not speaking with Discord people. Oh, yeah. I'm speaking to Discord people. That's the plan. Discord people are going to call in and confess or whatever. I don't think Baby's listening to me. He's supposed to be like modding. Ready when you are. I'll just go in the waiting room. Hey,
Bro.
yo, I'm ready.
Hey.
I'm ready when you are, baby.
Just ready
Oh,
for
you
you.
ready?
Not no,
Yeah,
no,
I'm
no.
ready.
He's
Jesus Christ, it's a madhouse in there. Sam Hyde. I want to talk to Sam Hyde. Probably not live. Valuable intel. I don't need intel on like people who are calling in to be like honest and vulnerable. I just need intel when people are trying to, you know.
Ranked League of Legends. Shit.
Hey. Hello?
Hi, wait, why am I in this channel?
Because you're on the air. We're gonna talk now.
Okay, should I mute Discord? Oh, I should just mute League. Hello.
Hello. We've interacted several times.
I've muted Twitch now.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, so we've interacted before, and I wouldn't say we know each other, but I know who you are. Just as a full disclosure, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you want to talk about?
I want to alt F4 League even though it's ranked because I want to pay attention. Sorry, just a sec. Okay, so yeah, I mean, I'm interested in the consent thing. I think that there was a conversation last night, and I think that we have a definition now where it's like clearly a crime, and I'm just thinking, is it like actually the worst thing if I mean 18 is very arbitrary, and we have a huge culture around bullying people based on the idea that they might like someone under 18, and obviously there's a very clear line where it's wrong
Wait,
to
let
engage.
me hold on a
Yep.
second. Is this advice? Do you want advice, or is this a confession?
Okay, sorry, I haven't really been paying attention.
The title of the show. Let me catch
Okay,
you up to
thank
speed.
you.
And when unfortunately you've already called in, so you're obligated to do one of these two things. But the title of the show is Advice and Confessions with Mr. Girl. So the idea is that you either want advice on something, and I, to the best of my extremely impaired ability, will give you my particular take, or you have to confess to something that you want to talk about. This might be a bit more intimate than what you thought you were signing up for.
Well, that's the thing. I didn't realize I just finished my work week and I'm a bit tired. Um, yeah, geez, I don't really know. I mean, like, this is kind of hard going first.
Do you want to step back and come back later when you
Yeah,
I've
that
thought
sounds
about it
good.
a little bit. Okay.
Thank you. Sorry, I mean, I'm doing like all-nighter basically, playing League. I was not expecting to be thrown into, but I guess I was in the Discord. Yeah, my bad.
Oh, that's no problem at all. Okay, well, I guess I'll talk to you soon. Uh, hey. Oh, wait. Somebody else just came in and then left also. Okay. Great first show. This is getting weird. See. Okay. Who's up next? People really don't want to go first, huh? There's like 15 people in the channel. Hello.
Hello?
Hey.
Hey, is my microphone good?
Yeah.
All right. What, give me a second. I wrote some shit down I'm gonna ask. Um,
Okay.
um, I think I might be too nervous to do this, to be honest. I'm sorry. Uh, can I back out?
Yeah.
All right, sorry.
No, no, it's okay.
Maybe like, yeah, maybe another time.
Okay. Sounds good. Okay. That's two down. Oh, wait. Here. Let me,
I don't get out of here.
you're stuck talking to me. Here, I'm going to move you back to the waiting room. Just tell baby I'm ready for the next one. I'm not trying to make people uncomfortable. Uh, this is top tier content. Speed running uncomfortable conversations. I want to tell you guys something. I see that somebody's in the confessional. I just want to tell you guys something quickly. What you've just witnessed, when I was single in LA before I found Shaylin, and I found Shaylin by adding 500 women on Facebook. That's how we met, and I made a video about it. If you guys haven't seen it, it's on YouTube. It's called "I Added 500 Women on Facebook." But before I found Shaylin, I was on dating apps, and I'd go on OkCupid and Tinder and whatever, and meet people. And I will say that probably 20% of all dates that I have been on as an adult went exactly like the last conversation that you just saw. So, yeah, women will. I had one woman burst into tears immediately upon meeting me, like she walked into Jamba Juice, locked eyes with me, and started crying and telling me that I reminded her of a guy who stalked her for years. And I was like, well, that happens. I'm used to it. So I'm not phased. It's okay. Um, these aren't dates, obviously, but it's the same uncomfortable pressure, I guess. Okay, are you ready to talk? Whoever is in the confessional, you're muted. Do you want me to unmute you? Or you want to unmute yourself? Buddy? I'm going to unmute you. I can't. Alright, well, I can't talk to you if you're muted. Baby, he's muted. Oh, I'm going to alert the mod. Oh, you're unmuted. Okay, are you ready to talk? Hello? You're not talking. Kick him? Well, it's gonna happen a lot, but babies in the waiting room testing people's mics. Okay, now we've got hello. We've got a new caller.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. What's up? Um, so I have two questions.
Okay. Well, do you want to tell us your name or what we should call you?
Uh, Call me C's, I guess.
C's.
C's. Yeah,
Okay.
that's fine. So, yeah, I have two questions. First one is, do you have any experience dealing with social anxiety or maybe helping somebody out with kind of dealing with social anxiety? And second question is, so I perceive you as a person who tries to kind of stay true to himself and
Well, the
not
answer to your
repress.
first question is no.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay,
Second question.
that's fine. Yeah. So I perceive you as a person who tries to kind of stay true to himself and not repress any feelings or emotions. Um, is it correct?
Um, I think that I have a more idealized level of emotional expression that is more like what we say. Like, I think people say it's good to express your feelings. We would all agree on that. But then in practice, when you start doing it, a lot of people feel like you shouldn't express your feelings if it's going to upset other people or confuse them or make your life harder. So I would say
Yeah.
that I'm probably closer to where like if you watch a movie,
Mm-hmm.
the movie would tell you that you should tell someone if you're angry at them or express your sadness or whatever. I probably I try to push myself to be more there, whereas I think
Mm-hmm.
I used to be probably up further on the other side, and I think most people are somewhere like in the middle.
Okay. So I think I'm, as you just said, like I'm what you used to be. Kind of, I repress everything pretty much, especially when I'm in public.
Yeah.
All of my emotions, all of my feelings, I just like I'm a ball of repressed emotions. So do you have any advice on how to move in the opposite direction? How to be more open? How to be more vulnerable? How to be more like in touch with your feelings and emotions? How not how to not be afraid to express yourself?
I don't know if there's a way to not be afraid. I still
Mhm.
am afraid when I express myself. Even with like I was telling my friend the other day, he did said something that made me angry, and I had to force myself to tell him that it made me angry, that it hurt me.
Mhm.
And my instinct is always to just swallow it. And then even with Shaylin, um, it's easier, and like we've established like that it's more of a norm that we're going to express our feelings, but I still often don't. Or and yeah, so I guess my questions for you would be,
Yeah.
um, one, do you know how you're feeling?
Um, Not really. I know the physical sensations, but I don't know what it means, and I don't know why it's happening in terms of like social anxiety and why I repress emotions. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Um, I usually believe that when people repress emotions to protect, I guess in my case, it's usually to protect other people. I'm afraid of making them uncomfortable.
Mm.
But I know other
Mm.
people are protecting themselves.
Yeah. I don't feel the same way.
Can you tell me a
I
more
protect
like a specific
myself.
story
Um,
or
Not really.
situation?
What
Like
do you mean?
why do you want to express your emotions more, I guess? What are you trying to do?
So, why? Because I know who I am, kinda. I know what I can be, right? When I talk to my relatives or my close friends, I'm one type of person. I can express myself freely. I can be funny. I don't hold myself back too much, and everybody seems to enjoy it. I enjoy it, and people enjoy it. But when I'm in public and when I'm with people who I don't know, very much, I kind of close myself. I kind of become this like ball of repressed emotions. I'm too afraid to kind of show my true self, and I don't know why it's happening, but it's just happening. Um,
When you
yeah.
say in public, can you be more specific? Like, what's a situation where you'd want to be yourself more but can't?
So basically, when I go outside, just stepping outside,
Can you be
walking
more
down the
specific?
street,
Well, you're saying you
walking
want to
down.
be emotional
Yeah.
as you walk down the street. What do you? Can you tell me?
Uh,
I'm more specific.
okay.
Also,
Okay.
I don't
For
think
example,
you are. I don't think you are what I used to be. I've always found it very easy to express my emotions to strangers. It's
yeah.
telling people in my life how I feel about them that I
Mm,
find next to impossible. Telling strangers how I feel, or confessing things, or saying it's easier for me to be myself when I
yeah.
don't have a personal investment in the relationship,
Hmm.
or on camera or something. And it's harder for me to be myself when I'm actually face to face with somebody I care about.
Yeah. I think it's hard for me to kind of, if we're talking about like deep emotions, sharing your like deep stuff. I'm not able to do it with people I'm close with, but I cannot do it with strangers also. Um, yeah, I think I'm not like what you used to be, because my problem is probably like social anxiety more. Um,
So
but
you know what you want to
yeah,
say, but you're too scared to say it.
um, I'm not able to say anything. So, for example, let's say, so I'm at my job, and my colleague trying to start a conversation with me. It's just a small talk, right? Nothing like really important. And all I'm thinking about is escaping the situation. I'm too afraid to say anything, basically. Uh, you know, I don't know if you ever felt like that.
Yeah, I felt like that.
Yeah.
Can you tell me more
And
about the colleague or the
it,
conversation?
I don't think it's really important, because it can be any conversation and
You're
any
saying any
person.
conversation with any colleague, you immediately
Yeah.
want to escape no matter what it's about.
Yes. Basically. Basically, yes.
And are you aware of what you're afraid is going to happen?
Um, Not really. It just a strong physical kind of sense, like, when you're, for example, when you're on a roller coaster, when you're like going down with insane speed, this
Can your
feeling of
stomach?
like kind of yes, this feeling, but multiply it by like 10. That's what I feel constantly when I'm trying to interact with people. Um, and it's too much kind of to deal with. And
What
yeah.
happens if are you ever forced to do it anyway?
To interact with people,
Like
you mean? Or
despite feeling that way.
yeah,
Okay.
sometimes. Yeah,
And
sometimes I'm forced to do it.
what happens?
Uh, uh, it feels awkward, and then I feel terrible about it, because usually I don't know. It seems to me like I'm acting weird, or I'm saying something stupid. And yeah, I don't know. That's usually how it feels. Even when I'm forced to do it, it doesn't feel good.
It
So
never gets
yeah,
better, you're saying.
it never gets better. Yeah, it's been like that for, oh my god, like 20 years probably, maybe more. As long as I remember myself, I always felt that way around people. And
Uh,
right now, if you have a question why
I
I'm
do.
able to kind of share all of that,
Yeah.
is because I'm drunk. I'm very drunk.
Okay. Do you drink to
Yeah.
socialize with people?
No, not really. I don't drink too much. It just so
Just
happens that I'm
just
drunk right now.
if you weren't
Yeah.
drunk, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
No, not at all.
I have some ethical qualms with that. So,
Okay.
I want to keep talking, but I had some more prying personal questions to ask about this, but no,
I,
I'm not going to now.
you can ask whatever you want, and
No,
if you just wanna,
no, because you're drunk.
I mean, no, I'm not so drunk, so as I don't have control myself, or I'm gonna say something I don't
Well, the
really
fact
want
that
to.
you said you wouldn't even be having the conversation with me, look, I
Yeah,
can ask you questions in a way that will probably make you answer them, and
yeah.
then you'll wish that you hadn't.
Maybe so.
And I don't want to do that to you.
So you're saying I cannot give you consent to kind of
Correct.
ask the
You're
questions that I'm trying.
inebriated. So here's what I would look at if I were you.
Okay,
How old are you?
I'm 30.
Okay, so since you were 10, you have felt like this. My
Maybe
suggestion.
a little bit earlier. Yeah.
Okay, my suggestion, and this is probably going to come up a lot in a lot of my conversations with people, is to look at your childhood.
Okay.
I don't think it's genetic. I would look at
Mm.
where you received the message that you have to be perfect or that you have to say the right thing and that you're stupid if you don't. And on top of that, why do you think it's not okay to have a conversation in which you said something stupid or in which you were stupid? It's just like a very unforgiving, judgmental, harsh way of looking at yourself. And I suspect that you were treated or talked to in this manner by someone or multiple people. And maybe you're more comfortable once you know somebody because you kind of know what they're scoring you on and know how to not say stuff that they're going to think is stupid. And when you first meet somebody, you don't have that kind of information about them.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe if you're drunk, you don't care. But I don't want to get into that.
I do.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
if you care less. But yeah, because
No,
you're
I
drunk, I
care.
don't think we should. I think we should stop.
Whatever you want. Yeah, I'm.
Unless there's any like
comfortable if you
disgusting,
don't.
horrible, creepy things you want to confess to. No, I'm just kidding. I think we should stop
Creepy
talking.
discuss-
I
Yeah, I don't
appreciate
have anything
you
like that.
calling. Let's talk
Yeah,
again,
sure. Yeah,
and
that sounds good.
when you're sober, and you can just deal with the horrible feeling in the pit of your stomach that evokes.
Okay, so yeah, next week I'm gonna make an attempt to talk to you when I'm sober.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Take care. Bye.
You too. Bye. Okay, one second. Okay. I'm just checking the chat just to see if there's like where you're gonna tell me I muted myself 20 minutes ago, or that if you're gonna ask me if I'm going to SawCon again. The problem is when you're anxious, you often drink more to overcome it. Yeah, that I will say that self-medicating anxiety like that, like at some point you're gonna have to just like deal with it, and I don't know if there's a way to do it without feeling horrible. You might just have to feel like, do you want to be lonely or feel horrible and talk to people? And I feel like eventually it would go away if you talk to them enough times. So I would choose feel horrible, but if you drink, then you kind of give yourself an out where you don't have to deal with it. But then all your friends are like alcohol friends, which I'm very judgmental of people who drink and of alcohol, and I don't drink and I hate alcohol. So take all that with a grain of salt. Name of Mr. Girl fans? Horses. I start all my essay videos, and I'll probably start all my streams with high horses. So you may not know it, but you're all horses. You're all my horses. Okay. All right. Baby, I'm ready. Oh, I see you've added a new chat room. Okay, so we've got the waiting room, and we've got the spanking room. You go in the spanking room, and baby spanks you due to your mic quality. Okay, so... Wait. Baby? I'm ready. Okay, hey.
Oh, hey. Howdy, howdy.
Howdy.
This is weird because I've been like watching you for a whole week, and like I have my own personal relationship with you, but you don't
Yeah,
know anything about me. It's goofy. It's a
it's
goofy feeling.
it's a parasocial relationship.
Yeah, very. Yeah.
Um,
So I had a confession I wanted to bring in.
okay.
Yeah. I'm a little nervous about talking to you, not talking about it. That's all. Just nervous about being on stream.
Okay, you want to like wait a second, or you want to talk about something else?
No, we can go. We can go into it. It's an old thing. It's not a big deal. I am unfortunately a fellow woman beater.
Okay.
Yeah. I. This is like 10 years ago. I used to live with a girlfriend. This was my first girlfriend. And there was one time. There's a lot more to it, but I'll just explain what happened.
Okay.
And there was one time I was leaving to go hang out with friends, and she met me at the front door of our trailer, and she grabbed my arm, and she wouldn't let me leave. She wanted me to stay, and I was annoyed because I wanted to leave, but she kept like trying to physically pull me back into the back into the trailer. So I
Yeah.
slapped her across the face. Yeah.
Okay. Back up a bit.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. Well, I'll let you catch up. Yep.
What was the relationship?
This was my like first real girlfriend.
Okay.
This was me and a person K. We had both lost our virginity to each other.
Okay.
We were renting a trailer together.
How old were you?
We were both around 21 to 23 at that age range. I was probably like 2 years older than her.
Okay, and you were living in a trailer, and how long have you been together?
We had been together for like a year, maybe.
Okay. Um,
Maybe not that long. We were also going to college at the same time too.
okay. This was the first time you hit her, or just a time you hit her?
This is just a time I hit her.
Okay.
Probably the only time I've ever hit a woman out of anger. I've beat a wall before. I beat a door before. And that was
You're
probably
saying this is the only time you hit her or any woman?
Yeah, both of those. Yeah, the only time I've hit anyone. After that, I was like, that needs to not happen again.
Were you
Even
drunk?
if it was, no, I wasn't drunk. I was perfectly sober. I had my backpack with my Magic the Gathering cards. I was ready to go play Friday Night Magic, but she wanted me to stay and hang out with her. So she physically grabbed me at the door and she wouldn't let me leave.
Did you feel like you were supposed to hang out with her?
Even though she was like restraining me, like I could understand how she felt, because afterwards, like when I thought about it, in the moment I hit her, I was just angry, but we lived in a trailer in like the boonies of New York, so we didn't have a car, or anything, so like she just was at the trailer or at college. That's like the only time she was ever doing anything. So if I wasn't there, she was just there by herself, not doing anything. So I think she felt like I didn't hang out enough with her sometimes, or I like went out to hang out.
But it sounds like
without her too much.
It sounds like you felt like you didn't hang out with her enough.
No, I think I think she did, because I'm pretty
Well,
sure
I think
she was just there a
I
lot
think-
by herself with
I
nothing
think
to do.
I think you did.
Yeah, well,
Because think
Well,
of
that's
it.
my
Let me think of it this way.
Yeah.
If somebody else, like your neighbor across the street,
Yeah.
grabbed you and said, "You don't go hang out with your friends. You have to hang out with me," but you like barely knew them, I don't think that would make you angry enough to slap them.
It might be. I mean, if they grabbed me, that'd be weird. Like I wouldn't.
It would be weird, but I
that'd
don't think you'd be. I don't think you'd be angry. And you might
Yeah.
slap them out of self-defense, but you wouldn't be like, "I've had
Yeah.
enough of being trapped in this fucking trailer with you, so I'm gonna slap you, bitch." It
Yeah.
wouldn't be like that.
Well,
Oh.
I don't think I felt like that. I was just annoyed. I was upset that she was like grabbing me, wouldn't let me leave. I probably did feel like that, actually. I probably felt a little bit like that. Like, let me get the fuck out.
I mean, I assume
like
you
having
felt a
fun.
bit claustrophobic in there
Yeah.
with her like stewing in her sadness.
Yeah. And to be fair, she also hit me one time, so we were 1-for-1. It was a mutual beating.
Okay. Well, I'm not judging you.
Yeah. Oh, of course. Yeah. I mean, you can. That'd be fine.
Well, that's not what we're here to do.
Copy that.
Yeah, it's advice and confessions, not
Yeah.
judgment. Okay, here's here's what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
The thing what I'm trying to get at is that it sounds like the thing she was telling you that you're supposed to do resonated with something that you already felt you were obligated to do, and maybe you had
Yeah.
already done too much of. Like maybe you had already been putting off taking time or space for yourself to take care of her and her sad, depressive,
Yeah.
frumpily trudging around the trailer like lifestyle. And I think that similarly, if she had asked you to do something that you didn't feel you were supposed to do, like if she said, I don't know, like something insane, like, no, you have to stay here and count all the pine cones in the front yard.
Yeah.
I also don't think you would have slapped her. So my suspicion is that.
I mean, if she had like asked me like, hey, could you do this instead? Like, of course I wouldn't hit her or anything. You know. I'm sorry. Keep going.
Yeah, I know I'm saying you're too focused on the way she asked you.
Yeah.
Which is grabbing you. We already know that you didn't like her grabbing you.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to.
Oh, and also I was embarrassed because my friends were there to pick me up. They drove. They were waiting in
Well, embarrassment.
the driveway.
Oh, you were embarrassed that she was grabbing you.
Well, in front of my friends too. That's
More
another reason
embarrassed. More embarrassed than you were that you slapped her.
why.
Did your friends care that you slapped her?
But those friends, you know what? They probably didn't care. Those friends.
Okay.
Those friends
Okay, so for those friends, it's more embarrassing to be grabbed and.
But I think that's another feeling too. I was upset she was grabbing me, and I was embarrassed. Like, hey, I'm walking. My friends are right there waiting to pick me up. I'm gonna go walk in their car, and you're yanking on me.
She was making you look like whipped.
Yeah, but basically.
So you put her in her place.
Kind of.
Okay.
And well, what happened right after that was extra weird, because I slapped her, and then I felt bad, and then she lunged at me and kissed. She started making out with me.
They always
which was
do
the
that.
most
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
That was the most confusing feeling I ever had, because I also kind of liked it. It was kind of cool. I had to think about that later. I didn't think about it at the time, but I did and kind of liked it. But I didn't. I didn't want, at the time. I was super confused. Wanted nothing to do with it. I was like, "This is weird. Why are you trying to kiss me after I hit you?" And then I just left with my friends to go play.
What do you think the answer is?
I'm just assuming she was just desperate for me to stay, or maybe she liked it.
You think she? It sounds like I assume she liked it, but it sounds like.
I mean, I'm sure there's a situation where she could go to kiss me in that situation, but it's not because she liked it. She's just like trying to get me to stay for some reason.
You think she was just like robotically like, okay, grabbing didn't work because he slapped me. What's next on the list?
Yeah.
I'll try kissing him.
Maybe.
I feel like if you slap someone and you've never slapped them before, whatever they do next can be interpreted as a reaction to the slap. I feel like that's fair.
Yeah, that's probably fair.
I feel like I'm being fair in interpreting that as a response to you slapping her.
Yeah.
Maybe she felt like you weren't passionate about her.
That's, you know what? Every girlfriend I've ever had has thought that. That's probably true.
Well, if you hit them, then they know that you are. It's not the best way to show it, but I will say that, I mean, have you been hit, right? Like you do feel.
She hit me once, and I had one girl slap me in bed. That was a different thing, though.
But that's
like, angry at me.
Yeah, that's different. I feel like having somebody get so angry at you that they hit you or like scream at you, it does feel like they care about you.
Yeah, I believe that. Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah.
Maybe she just needed you to let her know that you actually care about her on your way out.
Yeah.
Well, after she kissed you, was she okay with you leaving then?
No, I don't think she. I think she was upset. I just left, forgot about her, played Friday Night Magic, came home. I don't remember what happened after that.
And you guys broke up at some point?
Yeah, we broke up. We lasted like 2 years total. And eventually.
How far into it was that?
What do you mean by how far? It was 2 years we dated, I think. I don't know what you mean by how far into it was 2 years.
When was the slap in the timeline of the relationship?
It was maybe like halfway into it.
Okay.
It wasn't like a deciding thing or anything. It wasn't like a reason why it ended. We ended pretty mutually.
Do you have the same, like, do you feel like I'm being empathetic towards your trying to understand why you did that?
Yeah, I feel like that, yeah.
Do you have
even if you'll joke a little bit, but yeah, I get it.
Do you feel my joking is not empathetic?
No, it is empathetic. I think it's empathetic in like a cathartic way.
Okay.
I think that's the right word. I think.
Yeah, maybe I'm joking too much though. That's it. It's something to think about.
I mean, I didn't think you were joking too much with.
Yeah, but
but
maybe I am.
Yeah.
Do you? Do you have the same empathy when you think about it yourself? Like for yourself?
Are you thinking about my situation?
Thinking about you having slapped your girlfriend 10 years ago. I mean,
Yeah, it's something I've settled pretty well. Like I don't feel guilty about it.
how did you
Um,
settle it?
how did I settle it with her? I don't
No,
think
no,
we.
yourself.
Oh, um, I think there's not like a way I negotiated it. I just like, hey, I was in a weird situation. She was grabbing me. I acted out, and it's not good I acted out, but it was also kind of justified because she was grabbing me. Not something I would do again.
What would you
Um,
do next? What would you do if you could do it again?
well, I think the next time she wanted to talk to me and about something. I forget what we were arguing about, but we were both upset and she wanted to settle the issue. And I just wanted to be left alone for a few hours.
Yeah.
So I went to our room, I closed the door, but she was like at the door pestering me, and then I started hitting the door. I was like, "Leave me the fuck alone," shouting it. And I think she left me alone eventually, but I was really angry at that time. I think another thing that makes me angry, she reminds me of my mother a lot. That
Yeah.
person. Yeah. My mother I don't talk to, so.
Welcome to the club.
Hell yeah.
Did you feel like claustrophobic with your mother too?
Um, yeah, my mother was a legit crazy person. I don't know what she would be diagnosed with, but she
Something.
had been instituted once or twice. Sometimes I would go to hang out with friends, and she would follow me to my friend's place. This doesn't happen often. Usually it'd be fine. But one time randomly, she like went to my friend's place. She started yelling at my friend and their parents, like randomly for no reason. Like she didn't want me over there. I didn't understand. I still don't understand.
So
But
you were
she's
kind
like legit. Go ahead.
you're kind of slapping your mother.
I think I probably did hit my mother once.
Well, no, I'm saying
'Cause-
when you're slapping your girlfriend, like it's not.
Yeah,
They're
oh, okay.
she's acting exactly like your mother.
You think that's why I was turned on by it?
No, no. I think that you're from. I'm guessing if you had slapped your mother, she would not have reacted with affection.
Um, my mother would. She like has
Oh,
undying love for me, even though she's crazy and I want nothing to do with her.
okay. So
She would like
she was acting like your mother throughout the entire story.
um, my girlfriend was acting like my mother.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably, yeah, a lot. Yeah, she's a little crazy, a little bit. It kind of felt like she liked drama sometimes, but
That's kind of horrible. Like feeling like if you set verbal boundaries, it doesn't matter. If you set behavioral boundaries, like closing a
yeah,
door or leaving, it doesn't matter. And then if you resort to violence, that doesn't even matter. That it's just still an endless like um, a violation of your space.
yeah, it is. Yeah, it's. I don't usually put myself in that perspective, but you're pretty right. It's pretty deep. It does feel horrible, but at the same, my gut reaction is be like, what did I do to cause this? What could I have done to prevent this? I kind of like
Yeah.
blame myself for the situation.
Well, because you're used to being like you're used to
One, because
having
I'm a guy and we're just always
well,
responsible.
you're used to having your space violated.
Um, yeah, I'm not used to that. Yeah,
It sounds like you are used to it.
I'm used to having my space violated.
If you're saying your mother was so overbearing that she would show up at your
Yeah.
friend's house and yell at them,
Well,
yeah, kind of.
yeah. Well, I mean, I don't like it. That's what I mean to say.
Uh, you
Eh.
don't you don't like it, but you might be more tolerant of it than you realize. Like if like
Yeah, I'm
I
probably
would
very
never
tolerant of
live
it.
in a trailer with Shaylin
Yeah. Why not?
because I would hit her.
Yeah. But do you have like a giant 4-bedroom house right now with her? They're like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Three bedrooms. One is our bedroom, and we each have a separate office.
One's the buffer. Oh, okay.
And like if we in our place before last, okay, I'll tell you a story about Shaylin.
Yeah, go
I'll
ahead.
tell you a fucking story about Shaylin.
Oh no.
In our
Did she
last
consent to this?
no, in our last house. No, yeah, she has. I told her that if you hear me talking about you on stream and you don't want me to, then you have to tell me not to. But
She better hurry, because you're going.
yeah, I'm going. In our last house, we moved in, and there were two offices up at the top of the stairs, like in the top floor. And I picked one, she picked the other.
Yeah.
And our offices both had windows facing each other across this staircase.
Yeah.
And Shaylin left hers open. And so every time I would walk up or downstairs, I would just see her sitting in her office through her like office window, just like, you know, doing whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "Hey, can you close your blinds?"
Really?
Because yeah, I was like, I feel like I'm in your. I feel like you're turning the stairway into part of your office. Like I feel like I'm inside your office whenever I walk by, and like I want to be able. I want to be alone. I want to be able to get to my office without like making eye contact with you or seeing what you're doing. And she was like, "Well, no, they're my blinds. I can do what I want." And I started screaming at her
Oh
immediately.
gosh.
I was like, "You I was like, oh, okay, so like you can do whatever you want, like so I can stand in my office and aim a fucking gun across the like way, and if you see like, well, I'm just in my office, like it's not true that you can do what, or like I can like rip apart chickens in my office or something, like what the
Yeah.
fuck, you can't act, it's not true, it's not true that you can just do whatever you want wherever the other person can see you and it doesn't matter. Like we have some and oh my god, and I had this thing too about like she'd call me in her office and I'd trip over shit. And I'd be like, you have to like I'm not lecturing you to clean your office because I want you to for my own like because I care or because I'm anal, but like there
She
has to
wasn't
be
cleaning her office.
sometimes she's a little messy. And I'm like there has
Yeah.
to be some kind of minimum safety standards so that like if we walk into each other's space, that was another huge fight. She was like, you can't tell me what to do, and I was like, actually I fucking can because we're sharing the space with each other. And then
Yeah.
and then there was one other thing where I was like, I don't want you to ever knock on my office door under any circumstances.
Just barge in is the rule.
No. Don't go near my office door.
Oh.
Don't knock on it. Don't touch it. Don't fucking do anything with it. And I was very explicit about this when we first moved in. And then she made me a sandwich one day, and she knocked on the door with the sandwich, and I started screaming at her. And I was like,
She's,
because she had asked me if I wanted to, and she was like, "Oh, I thought because you said you," and I was like, "I don't
Yeah.
fucking care what you thought."
think she was testing your boundaries.
No, I think she just didn't understand that I was serious. I was like, "Your sandwich, a sandwich is not a key to break through my boundaries." So anyway, I'm just telling you these stories as examples of how I went from like living in a house with roommates and then later with Shaylin and living in the living room and not even having a door
I've been there. Yeah.
because I was so unaware of my own boundaries and needs for privacy.
Yeah.
To if you knock on my door, I'm gonna fucking scream at you. And also the amount of me screaming at Shaylin or throwing things and freaking out. I've never thrown anything at Shaylin, but I've thrown like boxes, and I threw her hamper once.
A hamper.
Yeah, full of clothes.
Kind of.
Plastic.
Yeah.
And as my awareness of my own boundaries and my ability to uphold them and communicate them has increased, my desire to be violent has significantly decreased. It just seems like you're not super in touch with, or at least you weren't, where the line was. So she may have crossed it much earlier, and you are just used to it being crossed, and you didn't know until you were like having an explosive, like violent reaction to it.
Yeah. There's like a lot of little moments where she like push, and then the one time in front of my friends that just blew up. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's interesting. Like other people, can like change your perception of what you're okay with. Like if somebody talks to you a certain way and then but then somebody else sees them doing that with you, it can make you like suddenly aware that like, oh, this is weird. I'm just like going along with this, but I really don't actually like this. So that could be another thing that like the presence of your friends might have actually changed your perception of how how completely controlling and overbearing she was being, and then maybe that made you snap and slap her.
She was, yeah, pretty controlling and overbearing. There's my one friend G, she told me eventually she just didn't like him, didn't want me hanging out with him, and that was one of the guys who I'd go hang out with.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not good. Yeah, it was like my first serious relationship, and it's really hard to know how to live with a person. That's such a big step. There's so many little things people don't tell you about, and it's easy to just blow up like that if shit builds up.
Yeah, I mean, and if all your experience with it is like
Hmm.
with overbearing, like narcissistic people, then you're not going to be good at it.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was the one. That was it. That was my confession. She had more questions about it.
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, you did give me an empathetic perspective. I never thought about like how horrible it was to have someone just invading your privacy all the time. I never thought of myself as like the person who needs like space, or who was like kind of the victim in that situation, I would say.
Yeah, I don't know that there needs to be a victim. Like,
Yeah, I
if
don't I,
if
I
she,
don't
like
like
if
that
she, let
word.
me put it this way, if she called in and she was like, my ex-boyfriend slapped me 10 years ago, I wouldn't be like, what the fuck did you do?
Yeah,
Why did
yeah,
he
of
have
course.
to do that? I would probably empathize with her. So I don't think that
Yeah,
you
and I
be
do empathize with her totally.
yeah, yeah, maybe too much. Or maybe at the
Yeah,
exclusion of understanding why you did that. I just don't think you should like miss why you did that.
yeah.
All right, well,
All right. Thank you.
thanks for calling in.
All right. Love you, Mr. Girl.
Parasocial.
Can't be silent after. Oh my gosh.
I can
Rude.
because
Okay.
I appreciate your
Uh-huh.
support and I appreciate your warmth and I appreciate to the extent that it's love, I appreciate your love, but
Okay.
um, I don't know you. Beyond what the conversation we just had,
Yeah, yeah. True, true.
and
Copy that.
yeah, but I'm glad we talked.
All right. I'm glad we talked to you. All right. Have a good one.
All right, you too.
Keep listening.
Okay, let's check the chat real quick. Destiny says the love you buy, so they expect it from you. Um, yeah, I think I'm. I think because of the nature of the way I communicate and the stuff I talk about, and the intensely personal nature of it, um, I want to be very cognizant. It can come off as just, it could have been just like more polite for me to say, oh, I love you too. Um, but I don't take that lightly. And I don't want to foster parasocial relationships where people, like, I see your comment and like the joke of like, oh, he's looking at me, he's talking to me. And like, I'm not, I'm talking to the audience. If you call in, I'm talking to you, but I don't want to foster that. And I definitely don't want to do it for money when I think it is kind of wrong. And I'm not saying it's wrong when anybody does it. I think that it's particularly, and also that's like part of why people watch streamers, is it makes you feel like you're hanging out with them. And like I have that experience too, with some streamers and YouTubers that I watch still. But I I think it would be irresponsible of me to start saying I love you to people who are reacting really strongly to my content. Um, yeah. So you can say it to me. It's not gonna like hurt me, but um, I mean also because it's not true. Like I appreciate my audience, and I and there is love in my videos, and I love people, and a lot of the reason I make my videos is that I love people, and so in a way I do love my audience, but that's different from the I love you love. Um, the word love is being conflated there with a different kind of love, and I don't want people to get any more confused about that than they already are. And I'm not saying the last caller is confused. I just want to be really careful with it. And especially as my viewership increases and influence increases, it just it feels like a lot of power over a lot of people, and I want to wield it thoughtfully. Okay. Do you love black people? Another person, do you love black people? Oh, I love all people. Okay. Do I love black people specifically? Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. I love black people. I only said that because you said I wouldn't answer the question. It's true, though. But you could have said, do I love any kind of person? I would have said yes. Okay. All right. I'm ready, baby. Yes. Do you love black people as a Destiny meme? I'm aware of that. I'm aware of that. I know. I'm catching up. Stardust asks, tits, ass, or black people? Well, when you put it that way, I gotta say I'm an ass man. Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Oh, first of all, can I make a suggestion for the show?
Yeah.
You should put a clock behind you on the wall that you look at, frequently while somebody's calling.
So I can be like a
Kind
therapist?
of just, yeah, something like that. Also, like, so that they would wrap it up. You can look at it frequently. If they, like the last caller, that guy was a drag.
You know
just
what?
get to know them.
I'm hoping you're friends with the last caller or something and that you're joking. But
Oh.
if you're
Oh, yeah,
not...
no, we're friends.
Okay, I figured.
I know.
But in the case that you're not, and because I cannot be seen talking shit about previous callers, it is fully my the pace of all of these conversations is fully my responsibility, and yeah, I'm not going to say anybody's a drag, and we're not going to have a clock in the background, but that's a joke too. Okay. What's going on?
Now, in one of your talks with Destiny, you mentioned you kind of like brushed on your relationship with your mom, dad, and friends, especially like around your divorce time.
Yeah.
I related to that very strongly. Is that something that you can talk about in more detail, or is this
Sure.
not the right format for that, or
Well,
or can I ask you like just a question about that? Maybe that will get you going.
that relates back to you.
Yeah, so like for example, like how did the fallout between you and your dad happen? Like what were the details of that?
I said it was kind of related to the violence thing, where I said that like I think that my role in the family is kind of like the butt of every joke, or the clown, or like the loser, is not tenable anymore, and I think it's making me lash out violently at my wife. I said, here's what I think you're doing to contribute to it. Here are the things I need to change. Here are the things that you're asking for me that aren't going to work for me. And basically like tried to renegotiate the terms of our relationship. And my father would agree to these terms and be very circumspect and kind of like emotionally intelligent in private. And then in public, with the rest of the family around, it would be like the conversation never happened. He would be just as mean and condescending and demeaning as ever. And this just kept happening back and forth, and I just kept pointing it out until things came to a head where I said, I can't talk about this with you alone anymore. So I emailed every single person in the family who was going to this Thanksgiving weekend. And I said, we're not going to come if I can't be myself. So if I'm not allowed to talk about my feelings.
I'm sorry, you said we?
Yeah, me and my wife.
Oh, I see.
We were still together at the time. I said, we're not going to show up if we can't be ourselves, if I can't be myself. So I'm including all of you in this email because every time I talk to one of you individually, you're like, oh yeah, let's change our dynamic. But then when we're in the group, it's like it never happened. So the boundary became, I said, oh yeah. So the response basically from everyone was like, oh, we don't want you to really be yourself. Like, don't do that. And then I said, okay, well, let's cancel. We canceled our tickets. And then the impasse was, I was like, I don't want to talk to you at all because everything you say in private is a lie until we have hashed this out as a group. And like we could do that in group therapy or just I mean, like, I felt like we were away from family therapy. I was just like, I want us to just, because I don't think anybody else would have agreed to it. So I said, I named a few members of the family that I thought had to be present for this. I said, I don't want to talk to you otherwise. And it never happened. And eventually I just kind of accepted it was never going to happen. And
and then what happened to the friends?
the friends, I sort of demanded a restructuring of our relationship where I was like, I need more empathy from you. I need to be able to say I'm mad at you without you telling me I'm wrong, without you defending yourself. I just need you to be able to listen to me, even if you think I'm wrong. And you can say I'm wrong, but I still need you to understand my perspective. And none of us had relationships with each other where we would do anything like that. We didn't talk about our feelings about each other. And I just got to a place where I was like, I can't function like this anymore. It's like killing me. So I need to be able to do that. And then one by one, most of them were like, I can't do this. And then a few of them are able to do it, and we're still friends.
And those are people in the same social circle, or
Yeah, a
are
lot of
they
them.
just
No, well, yeah, yeah.
and these conversations we're having like one-on-one or through mass email, just like with your family?
One-on-one.
I see. Was it a sit down through text, phone? I'm really curious.
All of the above. All different methods of communication.
And how did that make you feel afterwards?
Sad.
Actually,
And
not relieved in any way.
no, not really. The relief came when I decided to change. I didn't need anything from them because I already knew I wasn't going to put up with the stuff I didn't want to put up with. So I was already relieved that once I told myself I would protect myself, I was relieved. So when I found out that other people wouldn't support it, I was sad and extremely angry.
I see. And how are like that was about like you said 4 or 5 years ago?
Like 6, 7 years ago now.
And is there any like do any of their friends that cut you off reach out, or
No,
they're gone?
they're
Okay.
gone.
And do you guys live in the same area, like
No,
in the same city and stuff like that?
no.
Okay, I see. You
Okay,
moved out, or you?
where are you going with this?
I'm asking because I have a similar situation happening,
Okay.
and it always bothers me that I'm gonna have to run into them afterwards.
Oh, you're asking how would I handle living in the same place as them?
Yeah.
I'm not. I skipped all the weddings. I skipped a funeral too.
Okay. No guilt.
No.
Okay.
But I'm not. I was not raised in a traditional enough family to feel like you are supposed to go to a wedding or a funeral.
Oh,
It's just sad. It's just sad. I don't have that kind of societal pressure on me. I just wasn't raised like that.
right, but like a friend would expect you to come, right? If they were raised traditionally, no?
But there weren't.
Oh, okay.
None of us are religious in the slightest, so the weddings are just parties basically.
do you speak about those experiences anywhere in your channel or anything like that? Anywhere that I can dig through, or I don't want to take up so much time. I'm
Uh,
just really interested in those like kind of
um,
familial and friends
there's a
relationships.
video called "How I Became a People Pleaser." I think that one might be relevant.
All right, well, thank you for your time.
That's it. What's your no? Hold on. What's the advice you're asking me for?
No, I just have uh, uh I feel kind of similar to what you mentioned at the time when you were talking Destiny. I felt like that was something I can relate to. Like same thing. I have friends. I don't
I understand,
really.
but you don't want any advice.
No, I do.
What?
I
Then what?
so my friends, I feel like I can't hang with them. They're just there because we're used to being there together all the time. But I don't really like hanging out with them. And when we hang out, it's basically just us getting drunk, and that's the only way we can like I can stand them at this point. And I was just wondering how the logistics of it happened with you, like
You're
how
saying
you
you've
had.
already had the emotional falling out, but the logistical actual
Oh
falling out.
no.
They don't.
Officially
They
the
do they know?
friendships still stand.
Yeah, they don't know that you don't want to be friends anymore.
They not yet. No.
Um, what do you need from them, or what did you need? Like, are you saying you're just done no matter what?
I'm not. Well, I was just asking like how you handled the breaking off and then how it felt after.
I
And
think
yeah,
I'm reluctant to break things off with people. I'm more likely to just say this is what I need and here's how I would need it to change in order for it to work. And then if they want to break it off with me, then they can.
yeah, yeah. But it's funny you mentioned weddings and funerals because those are the type of things that whenever they come around, I feel like, do I really like? I barely can stand this guy. Like, do I really want to like go to a wedding and smile for
I
a
know,
whole
but
day?
people in relationships can change. Like I might be overly optimistic or naive here, but I also think that you're are you sure you're giving people a chance to give you what you need?
That's actually what I was gonna ask you when you said that you were sad afterwards. Like, I'm sure a part of you when you were sending or when you're having those talks, like a part of you knew that that's just who they are, right? And that's why they behave that way.
Mm,
No?
no.
No.
The friendship that has been the most enduring out of those is with the most at the time or historically most defensive um he's always been introspective, but he was also extremely defensive, and I did not and could not have predicted that he would end up being the most empathetic. I think that I think people who can't talk about feelings and who not that I mean I don't know what your problems with your friends are, but I assume they feel trapped. Whatever you don't like about them, they probably don't like either. And some people are willing to change. But if you're in a well-worn established pattern and you think everybody else doesn't want to change, it's much harder to. So I think that it was probably helpful to my friend for me to tell him, like, if you want to change like this too, I'll go with you. Like I'm going, and you can come with me, and then we can keep, you know, we can stay close. But I can't. I'm not going to be able to talk about anything except like how unintimate our relationships are and how it just feels like fake and like we're avoiding all of our conflicts because like we've been friends for a really long time, and I was just like it's going to derail our relationship if you can't like change how you communicate with me. And it's possible that some of your friends might feel the same way. I don't think you I mean, I don't know. You're saying that's
Uh,
just that is who they are, and then like maybe you're right. I don't know.
yeah, so like my biggest fear is that like I have these conversations and then that the response would be, "Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know you felt that way. Oh, I didn't know I was hurting you in this way." and then there would be a shift in behavior for a while, and then it would slowly, decay back to what it was.
But that
Basically,
decay,
basically I don't want them to just be like change how they are around me just because I threw a fit.
I
And
think
then
people are
and
going to
then
treat you as badly as you let them. So if there is a decay, it will be because you stopped being vigilant. I don't think there's a way around this. I think that it is possible that you're right and that they're not interested in what you want and they're never going to be able to meet your needs. But it's also possible that you may just need to advocate for yourself more in your friendships, which is not something that guys, especially younger, I mean, I don't know, like any guys of any age expect from other guys to say like, hey, here's what I need from you. Here's how I'm feeling about you. And here's what here's what I want going forward. It's a hard conversation to have because it's so socially like strange for most people. But I don't think there's really a way around it other than just being less close. Like the other solution I think is to just be like, okay, well, we'll just be buddies. We'll chat every once in a while and I'll see you at the big events. And then you probably won't care as much how they treat you. But I guess when I hear you say that's your fear, it just sounds like you're saying that you are not ready to advocate for yourself and continuously advocate for yourself until you either get what you need.
right. But the act of advocating for myself is weird, right? Like just coming out and like it's
Not
basically
not in this
somebody.
conversation because I don't think it's weird and so
Yeah,
right
yeah,
now
and
it's not weird.
yeah. Right now,
To them
talking about
to
it
them it
right
is
now,
weird.
and
But like you have to, if you want to
Yeah.
look, that if you want to change the system you're in, you have to do
Right.
something that the system defines as weird. There's
Right.
there's no way around that. So you have to do something that makes so like you've seen me making the rounds on Twitch, right?
Right.
Everybody thinks I'm weird.
Okay.
But I'm like, I think that Twitch is boring. I think your conversations are boring. I think the way you talk about things is too close-minded. It's not empathetic. It's too careful. You're too optics focused, and it's not that interesting. I think you think your audience is stupid, and if you give them the trust to say things that may come off as weird or strange or whatever, then we can all have a more enriched, enlightened discourse. But the
Sure.
response is pushback from pretty much I mean, people might like me and they might think I'm interesting and they might like that the drama and audience that I am bringing and giving them and giving myself and whatever. But also a strong message sent by everybody is that I'm weird. And like, if you, there's no way. Weird just means that's something we don't do and we've agreed that we don't do it. And so my response is like, well, yeah, I know you don't do it. That's the fucking thing I'm complaining about. And so in your friend group, like, yes, it's weird to advocate for yourself, but that you're saying you're going to leave otherwise. So I guess I would rather be weird than lose all my friends. And then if some of them go along with you, like, I just like, I feel like men especially like this.
Yeah.
I don't know that women, I would probably go over better with women. Not that
Right.
women are great at talking about their feelings, but men especially, it feels like normalizing talking about your feelings and asking for what you want and advocating for yourself emotionally would be a good thing. And to normalize it, you got to do something that's weird. So I feel like it's worth a shot.
Okay. Final thing, if you don't mind, not talking to mom and dad. Is that how is that going?
Sad. What do you mean? How's it going? It's the same thing. Like, I was relieved when I realized I'm not going to let you treat me like shit anymore. And then the next step is, do I still have parents? And the answer is no. And like, I'll tell you something my other friend said to me. After I got divorced, and I had like a series of like falling outs with people, including like people I was trying to date. Like I was trying to find I was extremely lonely trying to find relationships and new friendships, and they also kept falling apart for similar reasons. And my friend said, I think that you should keep looking for the kind of intimacy that you want, no matter what. And I said, even if I'm alone forever? And she said, yes. And when people would give up on me or flip out or leave after that, I would think about that. That giving up on what you need from other people is just deciding to be alone forever, but surrounded by people, which is worse, I think. So if you're looking for me to tell you like you're going to feel better if you just cut them off and run, I don't think you will, because you'll find a new group who will inevitably do things to you that you don't like, that you don't want, or who have shortcomings that you need to talk about and that you need to express yourself about, and things that you need to ask for. I feel like that's just inevitable in any relationship. And if you can't do that and you just grit your teeth, you'll always hit a breaking point.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Running away is never the option. I don't think that's true. I think there's a level, like, there are certain types of abuse that are irreconcilable. So like one of my stories about my mother, the moment I realized I didn't have the same terms for my mother. My mother told me that part of why she kicked me out when I was 16 was that she was sexually attracted to me. She told me this when I was 25, and there is not really a way to recover from that. You can never have a normal relationship with your mother who admits that she was sexually attracted to you. The relationship is, as it existed, was over. And the relationship that can exist after that just felt like psychological rape. And so I don't know. It's so awful that I don't even want to define it as running away. I think it's totally an option if somebody crosses the line to that extent. But if you're particularly conflict avoidant and a bit of a people pleaser and don't want to make people uncomfortable and don't want to make people think you're weird, then running away is going to seem more attractive than it actually is going to be, I think. I'm going to let you digest the story I just told you if you hadn't heard it before. For a minute or two. Do I like the movie Forrest Gump? Yeah, it's all right. I've never sat down and been like, I really want to watch Forrest Gump, but I liked it when I saw it. Did I talk with Bofa already? I don't know who is Bofa. When are we playing Halo? Oh, hey Vito. I don't know. I think that I'm going to do this instead for a while. I don't know if anybody cares about me playing Halo. Biological mother, yes. Yes, yes. Define it as an opt-out rather than running away. Yeah, I feel like that's fine. I mean, we can call it whatever you guys want. If you decide you don't want to be friends with someone or a group of people, do you think you owe them the confrontation of letting them know? I don't think so. I think, as I said, I am very anti like breaking up. I'm anti divorce. I'm anti cutting off. Like I think that you can just keep pushing for what you need, and then if you agree that or realize you're at an impasse, then distance yourself, or maybe there's just a less close relationship you can have. I don't know. I don't know that I've had the... Oh, I have had the experience of not wanting to be friends with somebody, and I handled it really badly in high school. So... no, I could have asked for things to change, but I was too much of a pussy, and I instead kind of betrayed him. Was this guy I'd been best friends with since elementary school, and we kind of drifted apart. He had a different friend group, but it was still in my friend group, and all my friends hated him, and he kind of hated them, and things were tense between us. And then when we were 16, his girlfriend broke up with him and was like friends with me and all of our friends, and then started flirting with me, and I just started dating her. And then when he found out, he just stopped talking to me. And I still have nightmares about it, and handled it really. It's probably my biggest regret. I think in my entire life. Like, I know I was 16, and I also understand, like, that was also when my mother was kicking me out because she was sexually attracted to me. I was very confused and had a lot of shit going on. And so it's not, but yeah, I still feel horrible about it. And there's a million other things I could have done that would have been better. So, including telling him I just didn't want to be friends anymore. But that's not true. I did want to be friends. I think I was trying to, well, one, I was lonely and I wanted to date her. And two, I just wanted to get out of I felt stuck between him and them. And so I didn't care that he wasn't going to be friends with me anymore. And we were still barely friends. It was like we were drifting apart, and it was going to come to a natural drift apart of like a friendly, like, oh, hey, but like we're not really friends anymore. So it wasn't like we were still hanging out often at all, but it made it so we became like never spoke again enemies, rather than the more distanced, friendly version that would have been infinitely better for me in my life. Wait. Both of these not. I can't fucking believe. I don't know who both is. What's Sakon? I've never heard of Sakon. You get me to say these things and they haunt me forever. I can't believe that you're just laughing at me the whole time I was telling that fucking story. Twitch YouTube channel. I'm going to use my alternate channel that I already have called mrgirl Returns, which already exists and it's already up, and I'm going to post this as the I don't know. I might post this video on the main channel and then say, if you want more streams and stuff, go to this other channel, and then I'll post I don't know, one of my other recent discussions on there. But yeah, mrgirl Returns is the Twitch YouTube channel. I'm so glad I got him. I'm glad you got me too. Do I like 8 Mile? Yeah, I do. Obviously. Can I tell Vosh I miss him? I don't miss him. Vosh, I don't miss you. But I will talk to you. I'm ready to talk when you are. When you accept that I'm not going to just go away, that I'm not a little flash in the pan, and that I'm going to continue to be an embarrassment to both of us. When you reach that stage of the 5 stages of grief, loss, and death, acceptance, then I will be ready to talk to you. 8 Mile left nut. Fuck you. I literally like 8 Mile, so that doesn't count. Okay. All right. I'm ready, baby. Wait, what time is it? Okay, yeah, we're still going. We're good. All right. All right, baby. I'm ready. The callers have been too quiet. Okay, I'll turn. I should probably turn my headphones down then. think that's the problem.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, wait, let me see. Okay. Hey.
What's up? So I guess I'm sort of like looking for advice, maybe what your opinion is, or if you've sort of thought about it before.
Okay.
But I feel like I don't hear as much discourse about female to male trans people. Do you have? I'm in a relationship with a female to male trans person,
Okay.
and it's weird because, um, so like, have you ever thought, like, eventually, they sort of like choose their genitalia, like in terms of like size, and I don't know, stuff like that. And it's sort of weird because mine is I'll say it's much different than the one they chose. So I'm not at it. It's
You're
weird
saying
for me to process that.
you're
I'm
saying
not
that your
sure.
genitals are different from the one they chose.
Yeah.
When you started dating this person, were they trans then?
Yes.
Okay. How long have you been dating?
2 years.
But they had female genitals when you started dating.
No. Well, I mean, they still do. It's not their. They didn't get bottom surgery. It's just um, realistic sort of ones
Like the
that you can
the fancy
strap on.
fancy.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's like a dildo or like a one of the like flaccid ones.
Um, yeah, one of the flaccid ones.
Okay. And when you say different, you mean bigger.
Yeah.
Okay. And um do you identify as gay?
Yeah.
Have you been with you've dated men?
Yep.
Have you dated men who had bigger penises than yours?
Um, maybe once before. I haven't dated that much.
Did you feel weird about that?
Um, I didn't think about it as much, I don't guess.
Okay, so I want to find out why you're thinking about it now.
I I don't know if this is also something, but there's like a weird tension between having um I'm not sure what I can say here, but gay sex or straight sex,
Uh-huh.
and there's like a weird tension there. You know, I don't know. I feel like butt sex is, it's just like it's more effort.
Sure,
There's
sure.
other
It's
stuff
not
you have
actually
to
it's not
do
really built for
related to
sex.
that.
Your anus
Yeah,
is not built for sex.
and it's like just easier to um have quote unquote straight sex. So
Well, yeah,
that's
yeah.
also
Like
something
anal
that
sex is
is
people have anal sex because they're like making the best with what they have.
yeah,
And then when people have like vaginal intercourse, it's like clearly much more designed to be done that way. Same thing with oral sex. It's clearly not you're not supposed to have oral sex like biologically, but you can. It's just not like it just happens to work, you know? Like we could also just have mouths that like don't like can't get each other off and that would make just as much
yeah,
sense evolutionarily. So you're saying I'm going to read between the lines a little bit. You're saying that your I'm going to say partner because we're talking about your partner's vagina, it's going to be hard for me to keep the pronouns straight.
sure,
You've been having vaginal intercourse with your partner.
yeah,
And you're bringing this up because is that confusing to you?
yeah. That and the sort of I get the insecurity I'm starting to feel, I guess, about uh penis size.
Okay. Let's tackle these one at a time. So, is this your first vagina?
Yes,
And when were you like, "Oh, I get it." Like,
yeah, a little
okay.
bit.
Okay. Cuz I've had anal sex also. And like having anal sex for me was like it's pretty smooth. Like I like the idea of what we're doing, but it really doesn't have that texture that I've become accustomed to. And then yeah, all the other stuff that, it's super inconvenient.
Yeah, kind of
Um
overrated. If you
kind
watch
of
a lot of
overrated.
porn.
Uh yeah. Um Is
So I
that
don't know. I just
is that confusing for you? Like that you like your partner's vagina? Are
yeah.
you
I mean,
saying
it makes me feel weird because it's like I don't know. I don't want to invalidate him or anything like that. And it's like we didn't always have. That's not something we started at the start of the relationship. It was like,
a matter
6 months
of convenience?
in. Yeah.
But he wants to have anal sex, and you want to
Well,
have vaginal sex.
that's the other thing. He's not super into sex. He has a much lower libido than me. We live together, and that's a big struggle for us right
But
now.
you've come to prefer that that the vagina.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the other thing is,
Okay. Um. So I was just saying that I think you have to weigh. Oh yeah, I find not being able to talk about sex or being honest about sex, um, and not in a way not being able to be intimate about sex, emotionally intimate,
Mhm.
extremely unpalatable. So like for me, my knee jerk reaction is like you just have to talk about this, and it's going to be really awful and uncomfortable, and like that's just how it's going to be, and you just have to deal with it. That's like what I would do. But I feel like since you seem to feel like you can shoulder more of it, and like you really don't want to put that pressure on your partner, I would say that I would at least just think it through and be really honest with yourself about how much you can shoulder and how much you are shouldering by not talking about this stuff. To the extent like that you're asking me about it, I just feel like be careful with how much you put on yourself about this.
Sure.
What do you think of that?
Um, yeah. I mean, I guess they're away right now. I guess I'm planning on talking to them about it eventually. It's just a matter of when. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, it seems like you kind of have to.
Yeah.
I just think you guys need to negotiate the amount of entitlement that you.
That's something I've thought of, a way of phrasing it that we can renegotiate boundaries at any point. And I've sort of said that before, not exactly that, but I didn't get anything back from that. I guess they didn't engage on it.
Yeah, well, they don't want to be seen.
Yeah,
They don't want
I
to be seen
understand
as a
how.
woman at
Yeah,
all
that's
in
why it's
any
so weird.
sense, and
I
like
don't
that
know how
it's
to
that's kind of
approach it.
it's impossible to avoid in this conversation.
Yeah, exactly.
Like they have to become a woman for the purpose. They have to acknowledge their femaleness for the purpose of the conversation.
Hmm.
Do you feel that is that invalidating to you as gay to like that on some level you're having sex with a woman,
Um,
or does that not matter to you?
no, that doesn't really matter. I, I, I just say gay. I'm more into dudes than women,
Sure.
but I don't care.
Yeah, I feel like that will make it easier if you are flexible about that, because I
Yeah,
feel like if you then also needed him to be a man through and through, it feels like liking his vagina would be very confusing. So that's
yeah.
good that you don't care. Okay, is there anything else you want to say about this?
No, I just thought it was a interesting situation, I guess, that I hadn't considered before, obviously, and was looking for a little bit of advice. But I guess talk to them's pretty much
That's the
I guess,
only.
the only option. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, talk to them or just bottle it all up, but that seems like a terrible idea.
Yeah.
All right, well,
All right. Well, I'll thank you for the talk. I appreciate it.
you're welcome.
Bye.
Bye. Um, okay, does anybody know why my stream keeps going down? Any theories? Actually, this is a second stream, and the first stream was pretty good too. Internet? OBS settings. What OBS settings? Crappy CPU can't keep up with OBS. I have a 3900X. I feel like that's enough. I'm on Wi-Fi. Do I need to order a really long Ethernet cable? I'm connected on Wi-Fi. I don't think I'm dropping frames. Zero drop frames. Okay, I'll get a cable. Have you heard of the Ligma tribe? No, wow, no, I haven't. What's the Ligma tribe? That sounds really fascinating, and I would love to super sincerely express interest in discussing that with you. Please tell me more. Talk like Buffalo Bill. Can I check if my internet is actually going down? No, it's not my internet. As soon as I restart OBS, it works again. But it might just be dropping. Yeah, every stream has one disconnect. Okay, okay. Your girlfriend is downloading porn. Shaylin! Okay. Oh, I shouldn't have done that because she's going to think I'm actually screaming for her to help me. Okay. I'm going to... I'm going to order an Ethernet cable. I'm not going to do it right now, though, because I'm streaming. What's my bitrate at? I have it set to 3000, but it says in the corner, it says 3220. She might knock at the door now. She wouldn't fucking dare. She knows. It's possible she's watching a video. She's probably watching this video. She knows what's good for her. What camera do I use? This is a Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 4K. Playback is 3000 steady. Right. The Discord would disconnect, but it doesn't. Okay. Shaylin is playing Smash. She better not play Smash without me. Actually, I've told her that she should, because there's a limit to how good you can get playing with one person. Okay. Debate Destiny on CBT. I feel like it's just going to come down to practicality versus my idealism. Oh, it might be Twitch shutting you down. Oh, you think I might... Yeah, we play Smash together daily. She's required to message me to get a hold of me. Yes, unless it's an emergency. Well, I mean, she's not really allowed to message me or knock when I'm streaming unless it's an emergency. Am I in Elite Smash? Yeah. Actually, I think I got my Mario knocked out the other day, but I am hovering on the line of Elite Smash. Okay, so should I lower my bitrate? What should it... I feel like my down is fine. I think the up is the problem with the streaming. Try 5,000? It's at 3,000. Should I lower it? $3,000 is low as fuck. Try. Okay, I'll just get an Ethernet cable, see if that fixes it. Okay. Leave it be. Okay. I would play Ultimate on someone else's stream with viewers. I don't think people come here to watch me play Ultimate. They come here to watch this. Okay. Okay. This is gonna be the last one. Baby. Send in the clowns.
Am I live?
Yeah, you're here.
Oh, perfect. Been staying up all night for this.
Well, I'm glad that we could make it work.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I believe your show is coming to an end, but thankfully my story is a pretty short one, so I won't keep you two waiting.
Okay.
Well, I'm a born atheist, so I've never had to go to church and confess, so I think this should be pretty relieving.
We'll see.
I got a sin to confess.
Okay.
I think my girlfriend's crying since she's a little. You okay? Okay. Hold my hand. Okay, so I had this childhood crush. Do you want to give her a name or?
Leslie.
Leslie. I'm not gonna say who that related. Okay, so I had this childhood crush /
Okay.
friend called Leslie,
Okay.
and one night, I think I would have been 16 or 15. It was kind of put up in the old room.
It's worth mentioning she's a lesbian.
Oh man, I don't want to say she's a lesbian because then it doxes the parameter.
Hey,
of
who's
who they
telling
are.
a story here? You or your, should we just put your
Yeah.
girlfriend on?
Go back to bed, honey. So anyway, I was in their room for one reason or another. I think they were out the house. I don't know why. And I was in their room and I couldn't get to sleep. And I had the ingenious idea of going through their panty drawer. And don't you laugh. And I put their panties on my head and I jerked off. And it wasn't like a pervert thing. I'm not a pervert.
Oh, yeah, of course not.
I got a girlfriend. I'm not like
Yeah. No,
this gorgeous.
perverts don't have girlfriends.
We don't do that, right? I'm normal is what I'm trying to say. So anyway,
It's a normal story. Just a normal
I
guy
wasn't-
doing normal
I'm
things.
a normal guy just jerking off in panties, but it wasn't the panties that excited me. What excited me was the idea of being able to be like, one day I'm going to be able to tell this story to people. And I think at last that the longer awaited get off has kind of come full circle, I think. So I wanted to thank you for letting me. Wanted to thank
Is
you.
this a true story?
This is a true story, 100%. I try not to lie on the internet.
Do you feel bad about this? I know you're joking about it. I know you're making it into a joke, but do you also feel bad? Like, do you feel like you're actually confessing something, or are you just telling a funny story?
I did it both. I feel a little bad because I think it's probably a bad thing to do.
Can you
But
tell me why?
I think to a level I have like, I don't want to say sociopathy because that sounds scary, but I feel I may have like maybe lower level empathy. So it's like I feel I could feel worse about it than I do.
Are you scared by that you don't feel bad about it?
I don't think so. I think I'm pretty comfortable in who I am, but it's like I'm comfortable in who I am, but I kind of acknowledge it's a pretty bad thing to do. That makes sense.
How old were you? 16?
Yeah, 15, 16. And I don't want to play the I was young and dumb card because I think that's a.
That's what I did earlier.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah.
How old are you now?
I'm 25. This was a while ago.
I think as I've gotten into my mid-30s,
Mm-hmm.
I have a much more affectionate, like, understanding relationship with my 16-year-old self.
Okay.
It's almost like he's my, like, kid.
There's a cool way of looking at it.
Oh, I mean, I'm 20 years older, you know?
Yeah.
So when I see a 16-year-old, it's not like, oh, here's that guy and me, and, like, we're just, like, two dudes hanging out. I feel like at 26, I still did, though. Or 25.
So you're saying, okay. So
I'm saying your feelings about this might change as you get older. I mean, if I would say if you're still doing things like that, then they probably won't change. But if it's
like, fuck, it's consensual. It's not like a unconsensual thing.
Yeah. Okay, but
It's
I'm
not
saying,
okay.
I don't know how unusual that is. That story you just told. I don't. You may be judging yourself a bit harshly. I don't know.
Maybe.
Might be worth looking into.
asking friends if they've done something similar?
No, I would look on the internet or like read a book about human sexuality or teenagers like sexuality, like behavior. I think I don't think asking people is going to make you feel more normal if
No,
that's what you want, or
I
abnormal. I
didn't want
don't think
to.
it's going to give you information, is what I'm saying.
Gotcha. Read up on it.
Yeah, that's what I would do.
Well, thank you for the advice. I hope when I
There's
get
there's a
older.
limit to the advice I can give you because you don't want to be super vulnerable about it. Like
I mean,
you're still making it into a joke. So the
I think I'm
conversation we can
making it
have about it is somewhat limited, which is fine. I understand that, but
sure, but I think I'm making it more of a joke in the sense of, I mean, I may be wrong. I can't read into my own mind, but I feel it's more of a. I think it's kind of funny, and I don't feel guilt in the traditional sense. It's more of an acknowledgement. Like, um, I don't want to. Oh, that, I was going to give a fucking video game analogy,
I
but
know.
that
But if
sounded
the
really
question is,
cool.
am I a sociopath? You're not genuinely exploring that right now in this conversation.
Sure.
So, I'm also not going to. Is what I'm saying.
That's fine. Okay.
Okay. All right. Well, is there anything else you'd like to add to this?
I don't think so. Apart from have a good night, and I hope everyone listening takes care and whatever.
Thank you. I hope you have a good night too.
Thank you.
All right. I'll talk to you later.
You too. Maybe.
Probably. All right. Bye.
I'm sorry for the creepy ASMR voice. I just want to wake like loads of people up, so I hope
Yeah,
this isn't a
I
little.
understand. Okay. I'll
Okay.
talk to you later.
Okay, take care.
Bye. Okay. That doesn't count. Yeah, I agree. That was not a confession, nor was it advice. Baby, last one. Or I can do it. Is it gonna be this person, Buster Nut? Oh, it's somebody else. Okay. Hello.
Hello.
Hey.
Give me like 1 sec here. I have to.
Take your time.
Okay. So I haven't known of you for very long, but what I do know is that you have a relationship with Destiny, and that you recently sparked some controversy with some of the things that you're willing to talk about.
Yeah. I would say, I guess I have a relationship with Destiny. I feel like I do.
Yeah,
I believe that I do. Yes.
yeah. Usually
Okay.
he doesn't. It doesn't seem like he spends that much time with people over. Anyway, um, I wanted to ask. This is like 90% advice and 10% confession. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. I wanted to ask. So, like I said, I haven't known you that long. How is it that you like you seem to be dealing with this controversy very well? Is that a true statement?
It is true that you think I'm dealing with it better than other people you've seen, or that you believe you or other people you know would deal with it. That seems inarguable.
You're dealing with it better than I imagine anyone could.
Thank you.
Is that a facade by you,
Um,
or do you have some sort of
I mean, if you've
trick?
seen me talk to Destiny about like my insecurities and stuff, no, I'm anxious, and I'm not sleeping amazing. But you're saying is the stuff I say in public about it a facade? No. I'm trying to be as honest
Okay.
about it as I can.
So
I,
you
I,
you
I worry about like a meta thing where in the controversy, I'm just talking about the controversy and me dealing with the controversy endlessly. Like I don't want to do that. So I think about it more than I talk about it. I'll say that, but I don't think I'm putting on a facade.
okay? So you have trouble sleeping at night because you spend a lot of time thinking about
I just feel
the way you
amped.
appear.
I just feel like wired. I feel like I'm on stage and I'm like I'm never off stage, and like anytime I check my phone, somebody is saying is like talking about me in some way, and it's just like very distracting. I just bought an iPad mini,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna I think Shaylin just picked it up from uh the the place where we receive such things, and I'm going to turn my phone off and leave it in my office, and then if I want to look at like media or text like friends or whatever, I'll just use the iPad. So I need a separate device basically. I need this to be like my work phone, and I need like a personal thing to put up like a boundary, because it's feeling like if you know within 5 seconds you can push a button and see somebody call you a pedophile live on Twitch whenever you want, like you're gonna push the button. So I need to fix that, and then I think I'll sleep better.
Okay. It's just that you know, seeing others in difficult spots where they've drummed up some controversy and they have these opinions, and you know, it seems like you had really no trouble at all voicing them. Is that correct or no?
Um,
Or like, did
I
you
think
feel
that's why
anxious about talking about it?
no, I feel anxious about it. People say I'm autistic, but I understand when I'm saying something that is going to break social norms, and it does make me uncomfortable. I just force myself to say it anyway because I'm trying to be honest, and because I hate not saying it more than I hate the discomfort of saying it by a lot. So, but I wouldn't say it's no trouble at all. I do have to like check with myself, like, am I saying this in the way I really want to say it? What is your advice?
I don't. I don't have any advice for you.
No,
I was
what's your
just
advice?
asking.
What do you want advice about?
Just like, so like I saw your, like, the way you're handling your controversy, and I have obviously my own controversial opinions, and especially like toward Destiny, right? Um, and I was just wondering, it seemed like you had some sort of way of dealing with it to me.
Controversial. You have controversial opinions about Destiny, you're saying?
Yeah, me and Destiny sort of have like this long running feud. He probably doesn't remember me that well, but I always try to get him to talk about race and IQ, but he never will. I try to get him to talk with like Sean Last and Ryan Falk, but he never does, and I don't know why. But he'll talk about pedophilia, and it seems like that is less controversial than race and IQ, which is confusing to me. But that's where we're at.
I don't think it's less controversial. I think it's easier it's easier to navigate and be really clear about what you're saying and what you mean. I don't think it's less controversial though. I just think talking to race realists is, I would think, a dicier proposition than talking to a pedophile. But what are you asking me?
Well, obviously, I have a social life and things like that, and I have these opinions. I just wanted to know.
What, like race realism opinions?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, and you want to know how to talk to your friends about it?
No, I'm asking how does a person maintain relationships with people who may feel some sort of hostility toward the idea.
I think that some people are going to be able to handle your beliefs, and some people aren't. And if it were me, or I guess, I mean, I have controversial beliefs as well, obviously. I think that I try to make my friends understand that it's okay to be mad at, and I would say my audience too. It's okay to be mad at me. It's okay to think I'm stupid. It's okay to think I'm creepy or criticize my ideas or criticize me for having them. And I think that like race realism is one of those things that people get really, really mad about. And I think if you're approaching it in a kind of matter of fact way where like you're not up for people expressing their feelings towards you about it, then I think that creates like a pressure bomb. I think if you can let people kind of interrogate you about like why you think about this or why it's so important to you or why you believe what you believe and what does it matter and what do you want, you might be able to connect more over it, or it might just be okay that you disagree. And then I think you'll find some people who say, I don't want to be friends with you if you think this way. And then I think you'll find some people who will say, I'll be friends with you, but we can't talk about this.
Yeah, it's usually the latter.
Yeah, I would, my sense is that you, in this conversation, that you may not be used to kind of open conflict with people. And
Sorry, what was that?
you might not be used to having open conflict with people where they're telling you that they're mad at you and you're listening or you're telling them that you're mad at them. The sense I get from you is that you're not used to that kind of like intimate emotional exchange with a friend.
Yeah, but
So
it's not usually anger that they're giving me. I
what
mean,
is it?
obviously they're hostile to the idea, but it's
What,
just like a really like disrespectful, dismissive sort of attitude.
but what do you think they're feeling?
Disgust. I don't know.
Okay, so then disgust. But I basically think that for any relationship to function, it has to be set up to kind of metabolize the bad feelings that arise in the relationship. So even if you get along really well with somebody, they're the kind of person that can't handle criticism or can't handle you saying you're upset or mad, eventually there will be some big blow up, even if the pressure is building very slowly. On the other hand, if you have a relationship with someone who's really fucking annoying, but they're also really good at listening to you and really good at letting you be annoyed at them, which I think of myself on both counts, then I find that I can actually still successfully have relationships even though people find me infuriating because I will let them be furious at me, and I'm like, that's okay. Like being really mad at me is part of our relationship. It's not a disruption. So it sounds to me like you are used to kind of just getting along with people and not processing these kind of like negative conflicting feelings with them. And then when you introduce the bomb of and I'm a race realist, it creates so many bad feelings and so much pressure that the relationship has no way to deal with it. So I think that I think the only way to handle that is to get more in touch with your feelings and learning how to talk about them and learning how to talk about other people's feelings with them. And then I think you'll be able to develop relationships that are more set up to handle you making people feel disgusted with you.
One second.
Okay. So I'll say an example of me and like the cuties, pedophilia, rapist accusations, or not even accusations, like perceptions. That if I signal to the audience and other streamers and whatever, like it's okay for you to think that about me. I'm not going to tell you you can't think that. I'm not going to stop being cordial to you or even friendly with you, and we can even be friends. And you can think these things about me. That doesn't mean I'm saying I think it. Doesn't mean I agree with you. But I don't have to hate you for being disgusted by me. And then a lot of my current fans are people who used to be disgusted by me. So I get a lot of messages and comments that are like, "Hey, I was one of those guys who first saw you or heard about you, blah blah blah. I thought you were like a piece of shit. then I watch some more of your stuff, and then actually I kind of get what you're doing. I'm not so sure about this, or no, I'm on board, or whatever. But I think giving people the space to have their bad feelings and bad thoughts about you um, is going to serve you well no matter what. But also, if you're telling people you're a race realist, most people who are not also a race realist are going to have a strong negative emotional response to that. And like, I just think that being prepared for that in this instance and in general is going to serve you.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't. I don't just come out and just, yeah, I'm a race realist. Fuck. I don't know. I don't want to start using language like that. But anyway, it doesn't usually come out like that. It's usually,
Yeah,
you
but
know,
I'm just saying that when they discover it, the relationship is not set up for them to discover something that they find disgusting about you. And you may need to learn to do that, which I think will serve you uh, whether or not this is the particular issue the person has with you. People are going to have issues with you no matter what.
yeah. You said to set up the relationship to deal with it. How do you go about doing that?
Well, I'd go to therapy, honestly. I think that in therapy you are forced into a relationship by yourself where you have to be intimate. You have to learn how to talk to somebody about your feelings and about yourself, and you have to overcome obstacles with that person. There's going to be conflict, and it's very low stakes, and the person's not going to expect anything of you. And if they get disgusted by you, it's on them to deal with it. That it's their job to make sure the relationship can handle any disgust or bad feelings or whatever that they have. Um, and I think that translates and kind of rubs off onto your other relationships.
Therapy,
And
huh?
it just teaches you how to be intimate. I think that's the main point of therapy to me.
Hmm.
I know it's not what you want to hear.
Well, I kind of always expected to hear it at some point, but
The time has come.
it's kind of surreal
I know.
hearing it now. I don't know.
You should go to therapy.
I can't afford a therapist, man.
If you can't afford therapy, it's even more important that you go. Like your life being worse because you don't have enough money to afford therapy, that makes it so that you need it more. There's people who have sliding scales. There are some free programs. You can get therapists in training. I honestly think that even somebody who's not a great therapist, sitting down with them, talking about your feelings, learning just how to talk about your life in a open way with somebody who's not going to judge you would be good for you. And I assume that's part of why you called in, is that you sensed that I would be willing to have a conversation with you like that. And a therapist is going to be 1,000 times, even a bad therapist, I think, unless they're like fucking crazy, is going to be 1,000 times more good for you than anything I can do on a stream like this.
You don't think that they'll try some like crazy therapist like mind trick to, I don't know, like convince me that that the opinions that I hold are part of the problem?
Um,
It's no secret that like 90% of therapists are left wing, right?
yeah, I mean, I'm left wing, and
Yeah, I know.
I'm not convincing you. I'm not trying to convince you. It's going to be a problem no matter what. So, I think that might be a good litmus test. If the therapist can't handle their own feelings, like, how can a therapist who is too disgusted by your beliefs to say to you, like, you know what, I still care about you and I still want to help you, how the hell are they going to teach you to demand that of like friends and family? That's a great litmus test. If they cannot handle your beliefs, then and they start telling you that you have to change them, then you'll then switch therapists. You might have to go to a couple to find that. I agree, but I think it's absolutely worth it.
Okay.
I think that's the best way to take care of yourself from here.
What about in those moments where it seems like professing my beliefs is sort of the natural flow of like a conversation with somebody? Should I just back out or no?
No.
Try to change the subject.
I think that's up to you, but in a sense, you're talking about being closeted, which
Right.
when you do that, you are setting yourself up for somebody thinking you're getting closer when really you're hiding yourself from them. I don't think you should be closeted. I don't think you should talk about it in professional situations. I don't think you should talk about it around people that you need to have a polite relationship with, because it will jeopardize those. But I think if you're counting on somebody to really be your friend, I think you have to talk about it with them.
It's mostly a problem. Obviously, I don't do it in like a professional setting or anything like that,
Mm-hmm.
where it would obviously like screw me over. That would be like my closest friends. They, or at least I hope they do. They have a lot of respect for me and they care about me on many levels. But when I bring these sorts of things, or like when these things are like brought up, like Mike, what do you think about this? It's usually like a butt of a joke. Like like I'm usually the butt of the joke. Like let's trigger let's trigger another schizophrenic break from Mike. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then it ends up being a really stressful conversation to have. And a
Okay,
couple
so
of my go ahead.
So one thing I think you're going to encounter is that the therapist is going to say, are you taking your feelings about other stuff in your life and hyper focusing on this one issue? And they're also going to say, do you think you're using this to push people away? I think those are valuable questions. I also think they might separately say you shouldn't believe this, and I still stand by what I said. If they say that, then you should say, like, are you saying you can't treat me if I believe this? Because I do. So like, are you in or out? But I do think it's possible, given the way you're bringing it up and the way the story you just told, or example you just gave, that you are using this as somewhat of a shield or some kind of test for people, and
I'm
that
testing them.
If they think it, if you react so strongly that they think it's funny, it might be very loaded for you for reasons that you have not sorted through yet, which would again be a good reason to go to therapy. I honestly don't think there's another way around this, unless you just happen to make friends with an extremely patient, caring person who wants to like sit and go through this with you. But I feel like those are hard to find. It's much easier to just hire one. That's what I did.
Okay.
I think that's all I have, unless there's something else you want to add.
I have nothing else, but just out of curiosity, this thing with you and Destiny, what's it about?
What thing?
You and Destiny speak a lot. I haven't yet seen any of the I haven't seen the videos in full. So
well, you check them out and then you'll see what it's about. I mean, I think that I think we like each other, and I also think we are helpful to each other, professionally and personally. So it's.
I hope
that Destiny has absolutely changed my life. Like that, whatever I give to him, and whatever people say about him, like burning bridges with people or getting mad at people or he's changed my life. And
right.
Nothing can I'm not saying I'm going to agree with him whatever he says or I'm going to stand by whatever he says or believes, but I will say that I feel a unshakable gratitude for that he believed in me when no one else would, at least no one else who had any power to do anything, that there's nothing he can do to change that.
That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot for me. And so, uh, yeah. I think that's all I have to say.
All right. Well, thank you so much. I'll try to come back in here at another time. I know that your stream is coming to an end.
It is.
So, yeah, I will definitely be back in a couple
Okay.
of weeks.
Okay.
See you then.
See you then. Okay. Someone says there's a trans girl waiting to talk on the air next week. Come back next week, baby. Put her first in line. Mr. Girl needs to sleep more. Yes, exactly. I'm ending the stream. If you guys have any last minute things in the chat, I'll stay for a couple minutes and respond to the chat. But yeah, I wonder if getting rid of the race realism is easier than making him be able to communicate it better. I don't think so. I mean, to me, it's the same as any type of being closeted. Like whether, it's like that's like saying just not being gay anymore. Like race realism is a sexual orientation. No, it's there's some negotiation between like me and accepting me and how much of me you should have to accept and like what is acceptable behavior. And I just feel like a belief system like race realism, you can't control that is compelling to you, or that you believe it, or that you want to talk about it, or that that's how you see the world. I don't think that's something you can control. And I think that all of your friends have something about them that disgusts you. And so I think learning how to make and build friendships where disgust can be okay and that it can be worked through is valuable to anybody. And like obviously I'm not a race realist, and I plan on making a video about race realism, and I have problems with like the lens itself, but yeah, I'm also just I'm not going to do that to somebody calling in. Just say like, just be different, and then they'll accept you. Like that's the complete opposite of of my entire message of what I'm trying to say, and like, and just takes like, and then he could very easily say like, okay, then just don't don't sound like a pedophile, or don't talk about like raping women on Tinder. There is a line at which I probably would tell someone calling in like, it may not be possible for you to get what you are saying you need given the way you're behaving, but I don't think that crossed it. There are plenty of race realists who have friends, careers, marriages. Most people might even be race realists at the end of the day. Like privately, it's not my belief system, but it is extremely common. I don't think it's as prohibitive as you're saying. Okay. Is there an opportunity to contribute to the community in a non-monetary way? Something as something such as modding the chat or some such. Talk to Baby in the Discord. Okay. do I like the act of streaming? I do like it. I don't think the kind of streams I want to do involve me being very like present and like on and thoughtful. So it is, it's work, and I like it, but I have to keep it limited for sure in order for it to be sustainable. I think I'll get a sub button the next time I stream, or maybe the time after. I'm not sure, and I'm not sure when that's gonna be. I'll probably, I mean, probably tomorrow. I'll probably try to guest on something, and I might stream that depending on what it is. And then I think I have something like almost every day this week, so it'll be soon. All right. Goodbye, horses. Let me figure out who I want to raid. I think I have an idea. Let's fucking see here. Oh yeah, everyone I follow, I only follow like 5 people. Yeah, it's Stardust. It's fucking Stardust. Yeah, I could raid Destiny, but I feel like raids. I feel like you're supposed to help the, like, you know, people smaller or equal to you. All right, have fun. Goodbye, horses.